All right, really appreciate everyone being here today. Two really, really good basketball teams. First of all, I want to say super sad for Rory. I'm a Rory fan. Believe me, I want to beat her every time we play. But just a big fan of her game. I don't think she cheats the game. She plays both sides. One of the best two-way guards in the country. All-American type season so far, and it's just you just never want to see. And we always want to win games with teams full strength, but you play the people they put out on the court, and I wish her a speedy recovery. But it's a devastating loss for them because of who she is and what she represents, and she's everything that's good about college women's basketball. Good leader, plays hard. Just love watching Rory. Two really good basketball teams, two teams that turned it over a lot more than they usually do. Two teams that shot the ball if you like offense. Today was a really exciting day. If you love defense, then there was probably too many uncontested layups and threes. But I thought we withstood. I thought we started off for coming off of break and not having a warm-up game. I thought we executed at a really, really high level to start the game and kind of set the tone. And coming on the road and playing with the lead the whole game and never relinquishing that is a pretty big deal. So super proud of these guys. What can I answer?
If you have a question, just raise your hand so they can give you a microphone.
Nicki,
Jerry.
hey, this is not orange, right? Can you just...
I mean, it is definitely not red, and it is definitely not orange, which makes it looks exactly the same color as that burnt orange on the Texas logo right next to you. But we're gonna give you a pass, Jerry.
Nicki, you mentioned the start of the game. What was the key to that? And can you just talk about how well Jada played for 40 minutes?
She had a little spell where she had a couple turnovers at half court. People don't usually pressure her. I just thought, I think one of our strengths is taking advantage of mismatches and ATOs. I thought we executed to start the game. We executed out of halftime. We got layups in both situations. And I just think we were dialed in. I mean, our team, I don't care if it's Utah, if it's these kids came to Baylor to play on a national stage. And when you're on Fox and Tim Brando's calling your game, that's a big deal, and I know that probably our players don't know who that is, but I do. I just think the crowd, the energy, the opportunity. I think we're excited about the opportunity to play in this kind of game, and so I thought, right away we executed our first play and got Bugs a driving layup. I thought we could be good in the lane lines with her. We knew if we screened well and moved the ball well, we could be really effective, and we thought we could play in transition against them. So I thought we did those things early.
Nicki back here. Kind of talking about Sarah. She came out like 3 times in that game and then fought to get back in. I mean, how does that kind of speak to her toughness and just being there for the team, knocking down those free throws late in the game?
Well, I don't know if people know, but Sarah's like maybe our only Texas kid. So this one I think is a little bit bigger for her. I know it wasn't Vic's staff, but Texas obviously recruited her really, really hard. She played incredible here a year ago. I think she likes this building. I think she likes Austin. And thankfully she's in green and gold when she does it. So I just think she made big shots. I thought she was poised. I just, at times like Jada seemed a little unsure, and Sarah was just always poised. And I think that gives. I saw Sarah leading as well as I did a year ago here. I don't know what it is about this building that Sarah has a different level of leadership. She calmed Yaya down. She calmed Jada down. She encouraged them when Dre traveled on the slip. She talked her through that. When you have a leader in this type of game that can give life to those guys and let them move on from mistakes. Like I was watching some video early about a coach talking about water and a sponge and how you can dip the sponge in and when you're frustrated and when you make mistakes. But if you allow yourself to like soak up, all the water, like, you can't move on, and I think when we made mistakes tonight, and we made a lot of them, 22 turnovers is like, it's like so painful for me. Anyone who knows me knows that turnovers are like I don't know. But we moved on. We made the next play. And I thought, considering, their points off turnovers, we won the battle of points off turnovers, and that's a pretty big deal against Texas.
Coach, I mean, a team like Texas, your depth is really going to be, put to the test. And, offensively at least, with Sarah out most of the game and having to go on the sideline, I mean, Dre stepped up. Even you talk about Madison Bartley, those two offensive boards that kind of stopped the droughts. I mean, how impressed are you just with the depth, being able to it's endured, already against Texas?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, outside of Yaya, I didn't go to it as much or as lengthy, but I thought, and a lot of that is Asia. When Asia's health changes, our bench changes, because she's a starter. And even if she's coming off the bench, she's like a starter. So, but, I thought Madison in particular, I'm glad you brought her name up, because even though she didn't score, I thought her minutes were really, really good. To be +7 in 8 minutes, it's not about do you score, do you get an assist, do you screen, do you take care of the ball, are you where you're supposed to be on defense? I thought she walled up on defense really well on some switches in the first half. She played under control. She didn't try to do too much. She didn't take off with the ball. She just kind of played within herself. And so I thought her minutes in particular were really good. I thought Yaya was a little up and down. I mean, I thought she had some really good attacks to the basket. And she's just going to keep getting better. The more she plays in this league, the more she plays against this athleticism, size, she's going to understand, when to give it up, when to keep it, when to play to balance. Because she's such an electric scorer downhill. But, when they lost Rory, you did not see them, they are a primary dribble drive team, and they did not run dribble drive all night long. It was high ball screen, staggers on the baseline, staggers, diagonals. They went to their set package, and so it was, when you spend 3 days defending dribble drive and then talking a little bit about, hey, well, they're going to play high-low and they're going to do this. And look, Maddie Booker was so good tonight, put her in National Freshman of the Year conversation, because wow. But, I think that part of it, staying engaged as they're setting one stagger after another. I thought our defense let us down a few times tonight, which it's been so good all season long.
I know you've already talked about Jada, but I think Maddie Booker hit a three-pointer in the fourth quarter, and then she took the inbounds and went coast to coast for, is she being more aggressive and decisive kind of throughout the entire game? Was tonight the best example of that?
I'm really tough on point guards. So I think that, I think she can do that more. I think she's fast. She's fast with the ball. She's a really good finisher. She's going to learn to be a good passer when she puts 2 feet in the paint. She does it sometimes, and other times gets a little too deep. So it's going to be a feel. But we were really good in early drags. When Dre was dragging, 8-10 feet across half court, it put us in downhill mode, and they were playing chase. And I think she's just a really good finisher. And so I thought she was tentative. Those turnovers at half court were just her being tentative, drive that thing down to the 3-point line and then back it out and run something. But Jada wants, the beauty of Jada, she wants to be coached and she wants to do whatever you want her to do, sometimes to her own detriment. Stop looking over your shoulder and play. Because I'm just a big believer in the more we can play and the less I have to call plays, I'm happier. Now, late in the game, I thought, a couple times in a row we got too frisky, and Dre got mad at me when we turned it over, throwing it to Bugs out of bounds in transition, and I just felt like there's a feel for let's ram it down their throat. Well, hey, we've done it, and we've turned it over, taken bad shots, 3 possessions in a row. Let's bring it out and let's execute and let's get the ball moving. And so I thought a couple times we made bad decisions, but I thought for the most part our pace was really, really good.
Just coming back to Booker real quick, just given her size and skill, size up what kind of a matchup problem she is and what you expect to see from her through the rest of the Big 12.
Yeah, I mean, I've only been back in the college game for 3 years, but I saw Maddie a lot between the Southern Stars and USA basketball, and she was a power forward. Like, she played the power forward spot for USA basketball. To see her be a 3 and be really effective, and then all of a sudden to be like, here, you're the point guard, Rory's out. She had played probably 10 minutes of point the whole season before the Jackson State game. I mean, she had been their backup point guard, but Rory plays all 40 usually, so, there's not a lot of experience. And so I think probably the Jackson State game gave her confidence. 9 assists and 1 turnover is pretty good in your debut at that position. But I thought she's such a good rhythm player. Like, when she gets to balance and bounce, she's really special. Like, we had to be good offensively tonight because they were good offensively. And I know both of us score, but, like, you just felt like this would be a little bit more, felt like this would be a little bit more of a defensive battle. I thought we would struggle against their size a little bit. And, but I thought we would hold them in the 60s, honestly. So it didn't really play out, but we found a way to play the game the way it was going. And I thought in the second half we drew a few more fouls, which was good too, because we didn't go to the line at all in the first half.
Coach, the past 2 years, obviously 2 straight wins here at the Moody Center. What kind of makes this win, though, feel different than how you felt last year, maybe?
I don't. Last year, we were looking for a late season signature win, so this was a great opportunity for us. I think we were big time underdogs when we came in here last year. I think everybody knew these were 2 good teams playing this year. I know there's going to be a lot of conversation about Taylor and Rory not playing, and rightly so. But we don't control that. We control, and we wanted to play well regardless. And it's 0, and going into the game, they were undefeated, we were undefeated, but we were both didn't have a win or a loss in conference. And our number one goal is to win the conference championship, and the goal was to be 1-0, And so this game wasn't necessarily bigger than the next one, but it was the one that was today. And certainly, you knew they were going to be motivated to play Texas. Like, I didn't worry about, like, hey, are we going to show up? Are we going to be ready to go? But it was tough because we didn't have a shoot around, early tip. Just didn't want to bring them here at 7 in the morning. I think the way we shot it, we obviously don't need to get that many shots up here apparently. But it's just an amazing, this building is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. The fans were great. The Baylor fans were awesome. Always good to be able to get your own fans standing for defense when you're on the road.